super song. Could be the super song. I have a dream that someday I'll be the super song. We'll be the super song. Think about.
See, I'm way above the cloud, I'm the spaceman. I didn't rule when I ain't talking.
We all want to be the super son, but are we ready to pay the price to be up there? You know, we say the way up is down. Before you get up there, sacrifices, your blood, sweat, and tears will have to go to it. When we say blood, sweat, and tears, all of the hard work, all of the push for you to reach the highest height, to reach the peak, whatever it is you're seeking, and the way down is still you crashing down. So when you're up there, don't look at people down and say, you all should remain there. There's this discussion we used to have with friends, and they say, "Oh, you go up there, and so that you bring us up." Say, "No, we're all going together. It's not me you're going to. So you wait for me to be up there. So all of you down, you now start dragging me. And the end, you don't allow the ladder stand well. Then I will fall. Then we all back to zero. No, we're all going up together. That's how it should be. So don't wait for somebody to be at the top of the ladder and say, okay, let me help, or let me start picking you one by one. That person may not be able to carry you one after the other. So it's better we start to climb from the ladder, from the bottom of the ladder. Let's all keep climbing, and let's go up together. When we stay up there, we will not bother about people on the ground, because there will be nobody on the ground to help up. We'll just continue to spread that kind of energy all through, and that's how. Sometimes some people like it that, okay, I'm the only one making it, so I'm looking out for my friends. It's a stressful thing to do, trust me. So while you are about living a life of purpose and fulfillment, make sure the circle you belong to, they all share the same dream. If they don't, that's why they tell you that when you find 5 rich people and you are number 6, there's a likelihood you might also join that league. And there's this saying also, they say when you find 5 unwise persons and you're number 6, they tell you you're number 6. If you tell people you have 5 friends and they're unwise, I really don't want to use the other word, they're unwise, they tell you, no, they're not just 5, you're 6, including you. Because if all your friends are unwise, that means, what are you doing in that group? It means it takes unwise person to know another unwise person. So you people belong in the same circle. That's why they say, check your circle and know the kind of people you move with, because they're a pointer to who you are. And that's this common saying that tells us that, show me your friend and I'll tell you whom you are. It's exactly that way. Welcome on the morning show, listening to 95.3 FM. Today is Wednesday. You know how we do it every Wednesday. Well, my partner is not here today. I will be your host on the show, and I hope I get to carry it through and well. So we have had a lot of flood risk in 15 states now. The federal government and NEMA is seeking ways, National Emergency Agency, management agency, seeking ways to help other prone flood states that are flood prone, to help mitigate the impact. And while we talk about, the disaster flood brings, we also cannot neglect the fact that, this season comes with different kind of, disease and symptoms of cough, runny nose, influenza, and all of that. You get the flu. The situation of flu is there. These ones can even be managed. But when we talk about other, diseases this season, we should watch out. And aside we just been disturbed about the circumstances of flood, even in Osun State, the governor of Osun State, a person of Governor Ademola Adeleke, has warned residents around the state, especially in prone communities, the flood prone communities, to clear their drainage. And there's also this system being put in place to allow environmental workers clear these drainages, check and make sure that people are not dumping refuse in our drainages, blocking our waterways and causing us to suffer flood. While we know that some of flood is a natural disaster, there are ways we can manage this. That's we also not contributing, because if we are contributing to the causes of this disaster, of course we know that we will suffer more when we do not find ways to mitigate the impact. And today, because it's Wellness Wednesday, let's see what are the common diseases we face during the raining season. Like I said, it's the season. The raining season comes with cold, cool weather, and there's this outbreak of influenza, flu. Even when you hear my voice this morning, you know that I I'm kind of under the of course you hear someone's voice, you hear how people sneezing around you, they have blocked nostrils, and you know that this person is it has a flu. And these are the common causes. Let's go to other, like diarrhea, cholera. Cholera is huge. And I tell you, cholera is a really devastating one, honestly. Even in Africa, we've seen in South Sudan, some of these countries that are facing serious, conflicts between armed groups and then the state-owned, armed forces. They've been suffering this particular disease, cholera. And beyond that, we have other concerns. And now during this rainy season, one thing to do is drink a lot of water. Make sure you drink a lot of water. It is the period of cholera, diarrhea, hepatitis A, and typhoid fever, because these are waterborne diseases. So drink plenty of water, and warm, drink something hot, something warm. And when you say something hot, now let's go to people who operate on the corridors. When I say corridors, transport workers. They get up so early, stepping out there to go mind their business of the day. There's this cold, they're shivering, and they just want to, pour something down their throat. I know usually some of these transport workers, even the motorcycle riders, they don't like to do it the hot water way, or warm water, or tea, or coffee. We're not big on coffee in this side of the world, so they just want to sip something else, and we know it. They usually tend to the path of alcohol, and that's not healthy. They say when you're behind the wheels, don't be under the influence. When you're under the influence, don't go behind the wheels. But sometimes we see people under the influence go behind the wheels. We see people, go who are behind the wheels under the influence. And you say, it's just the sachet one now. It's not much. It's part of it. So let's stay clear and know that this season, for us to clear our airways, a lot of respiratory infections and disease, let's drink a lot of water, warm water. By the time you're tempted to look at that soft cold drink, just tell yourself water is cheaper. Yeah, water is cheaper. And don't go seeking cold chilled water this season. Just take something warm, or just neutral, not warm, not cold, lukewarm, and go with that, so we can clear our airways, our respiratory, our airways, our lungs, throat, and all that. And take fruits. Fruits are cheap. They always say prevention is better than cure. I said prevention is cheaper than cure. I tell you, in any part of the world, prevention is always cheaper than cure. Is better than cure. Is cheaper than cure. Is safer than cure. I tell you, sometimes when we expose ourselves to some of these, common illness during the rainy season, we just say, it's not that serious. Until when it gets serious, you know that if your respiratory organ is compromised, it's a lot, because that's your breathing. That's where you breathe from. And if you're not breathing very well, if something is disturbing your breathing process, you're may something else not happen because you decided to not take things seriously. Now, coming back to the road transport workers, yes, you say, okay, why are you on our case today? I tell you, there are ways we can manage the circumstances, given that you drive, you're always on the road, and when you're driving, of course, when it's cold weather, you want to stay alert. Of course, you want to stay alive. You want to make sure you're not dozing behind the wheels. And then we always like to pop that thing. But being under the influence will not help, because sometimes we say, it's just one sachet. You take it, you take another, you take another. Now you are increasing the rate at which you take these things, and the volume. And the higher you take it, the more you are under the influence. So let's control that this season. And while we get to talk about other, things we can do, things we can do around our homes, to keep ourselves safe, keep your environment clean. Either it's the rainy season or not, you're supposed to keep your environment clean. But sometimes we do not pay attention. And given the season of rain, where we get to see the people, throw refuse in the gutter, drainage way, waterways, and then some of these things just flood carry to our houses, and then there's some stagnant water. Just keep your environment clean. It's that simple. Sometimes when we really don't pay attention to the little thing, the big things will come, and when the big things come, we cannot handle. Look at the situation in Moka, still a sad one. And Lagos State is also clearing waterways. Lagos can be tough. Now you see beautiful mansions, homes. People have spent millions into building these homes, and Lagos State is already clearing some of these homes, on the waterways. That Commissioner of Environment, Tokunbo Wahab, honestly, that man, if he eventually leaves that position, I'm not sure he will be friends with a lot of people. Because if we talked about, since he's been in that position and been active about clearing waterways, bringing structures down, that man is no one's friend. And this is another thing. We don't have proper housing system where in other countries of the world, before you even erect any building, they tell you, okay, what they have to leave a section for waterways and this drainage, so that when you start building, we know that, okay, even if we're not ready to do work on this yet, okay, building should not stay on this path, building should stay on this path. But in our country, Nigeria, where we always like to take the back door, you want to build, you take the back door. You want to even sell market to the market, you take the back. Everybody, we always like going through the back door, because we say front door, it's too long. Well, it will take a lot of process, because we're trying to jump protocols, and we go through the back door, we do things, and now we get to suffer this. Because one of the situations that really caused that devastating flood in Mokwa, Niger State, is because of lack of proper housing, no urban planning, no decent, planning of housing. And see what it's happened to people there. Honestly, I sympathize with them. Every day you keep seeing rising cases of the rising numbers of corpses being recovered from the flood. It's devastating, I must say. We shouldn't have to wait for situations like that to happen before we start to tell ourselves the truth. It's the morning show on Vicinity 95.3 FM. Be right back.
Times I count sheep, but I ain't sleep yet. Sowing a lot of seeds, still we ain't reached yet. Yeah, we started off just miming. To elevate and celebrate a super rhyming. Galactic thoughts are coming in alignment. Connect with the super mind state that I'm in.
I have a dream that someday I'll be the super sun. I'll be the super sun. I have a dream that someday I'll be the super sun. We'll be the super sun.
Music, sports,
In towards Lukaku.
entertainment, politics, all on your darling station, Vicinity 95.3 FM, Ikejile, Ijesha.
Yeah, welcome back. Still Vicinity 95.3 FM, Ikejile, Ijesha. Now, these are the things we can do in our neighborhood and for our community. We see that our community is prone to flood, either in Ikejile here around, or when now we've had some kind of environmental issues around that area, because the market area, and maybe there's no real passage of it's no proper drainage, and people are complaining, refuse dump here and there. But while we're waiting, of course, we seek government assistance, for some of this, to clear some of these dredges. But we should also, do something in our own way, come together and make sure we do the ones we can do before we wait for the government. Now, these are waterborne diseases. We all know of diarrhea is common. Increased exposure to contaminated water and food during the rainy season can result in higher rates of diarrhea. Some of us like to drink, rainwater. Well, I won't say do not, but make sure whatever the source that's bringing that rainwater into your bucket or whatever you're putting there is safe and secure, it's covered. We all drink from different water sources, but make sure it's safe. It's safe. And there is also, similar to cholera and diarrhea, we have the hepatitis A. It said this can spread through contaminated water and food. Until now, I didn't know you can spread hepatitis A. We come by, injecting contaminated water or food. I thought it was caused by something else until I discovered that. So just injecting, contaminated water or food can cause hepatitis A. And typhoid, we all say, it's simple. when you fall ill, they tell you it's either malaria or typhoid. That's very easy. And this is also caused by contaminated water and food. So we have to be really up our game these days if we want to, stay healthy. And influenza, the common, of course, symptoms of fever, cough, body aches, and all of that. So be surprised. Why is influenza causing body aches? Well, when you have your body, all taken up by bacteria and some of these germs, what do you expect? Your body starts to ache. Sometimes we do a lot. Some people who are very healthy, even kill the healthy bacteria. We're told that we have healthy bacteria in our body, and when you overdo it, if you kill the healthy bacteria, you're also giving way to be vulnerable to some of these diseases, because the healthy bacteria that's not there cannot fight the unhealthy bacteria. Then you ask yourself, what are we going to do right? What do we get to do right, to keep safe? Just, embrace hygiene, be hygienic. And of course, the dengue fever caused by mosquitoes, because stagnant water created by rainfall increase the risk of dengue fever caused by mosquitoes. And also, this is also very close, leading us to malaria and all of that. And there are also water contaminated diseases are so much. I don't know. So the food we eat, thankfully, they always say sometimes we should take time to fast. You don't know what you're doing to your body when you fast, because when you eat too much, it can cause something to your body. Because the number of times the food we eat, either healthy or unhealthy, really does not help us. Because our stomach sometimes need to be free and clear and be able to cleanse itself. When there's always food in the stomach, how will the stomach cleanse itself? So it's just like now you're trying to get refuse out of a bucket. You're trying to clean a bucket or maybe your refuse bin, and you do not pour out the refuse from the bin, and you think that you can clean the bucket with the refuse inside. It's not going to be clean. It's not how it will be clean. So you have to empty the bucket. That's why they tell us to fast sometimes, so you can empty your stomach of those food that are there. Clean it so your stomach can cleanse itself and all of that. Sometimes some people, they just say fast. It's like you're saying earthquake should swallow them. It's better, they tell you it's better earthquake happen here, so let me just go and asking me to fast. Sometimes aside the spiritual aspect of fasting, there is the health aspect of fasting, because you allow your system to cleanse itself. If there are no food hiding somewhere, anywhere, people start to feel pain. The moment you start to feel hunger or the need to eat, some people cannot wait a minute. They are on food, and it's not too good for you. Sometimes let your body heal itself. They tell us that most times some of the organs in our body get to cleanse itself when there is space and when it's empty. How do you get to clean it when you're always full? There's always food somewhere. You're always drinking, you're always eating, you're always on everything that they call food. When are you going to allow your body even relax? Because your body is always working. The moment you eat, your body is carrying the food, trying to process the food and all of that. And we don't allow our body, the rest it needs. These are the things that we should be mindful of if we are going to pay attention to our health. And there are better ways to pay attention to our health, not the simple little way. Say if you don't address simple things, it becomes big. And when there's a big issue, then it might be hard for us, to handle. Still the monitor on Vicinity 95.3 FM. Be right back.
Vicinity 95.3 FM. Ikejile Ijesha.
I remember those days when no lighter, no ganja, no friends. I remember those days when we had to buzz to get friends. I hustled on my way up, I did it all alone. I brought all my brothers up, let them see me shine bright. Holy Michael, holy Gabriel.
I'm glad to know you're still here on your darling station, Vicinity 95.3 FM. No, share with us today. Let's know what's happening in your area. Now we've talked about, flood situations. Your area clear, or do you think your area is prone to flood? And what are you doing, just like a community, to make sure your environment is clean or clear, and so you can be able to support the government to mitigate the impact of flood? You can join this conversation this morning. 08132371268, 08132371268, or you want to raise concerns about what's happening in your environment. And before we get away from that, I just want to know. So call us on 08132371268, or send a message to same line 08132371268, or leave a comment on our Facebook page. Before we move away from here, something that really concerns us, our locality, then I move to global trends.
Baba bless me, may the envy, the boy that is flexing, the money rest. Elijah, send down fire, bless my altar, pour me water, holy water, make them see, say me, I know they suffer again. Elijah, send down fire, bless my altar, give them long life, make them see me prosper, make them see, say me, I know they suffer again.
Now me then they call Kekere. Back then I know fi chalk bekere. Poverty just they tell you. But Oluwa iwo ni mo bekele. Waiting my eye don't see. I'm on my mouth no fit talk. From ghetto to overseas. Anywhere you hear my bed, do follow me rock. Holy Michael, Holy Gabriel. You don't prove them, say my daddy did there. Holy Michael, Holy ranking. Father me I give you special thanks. Elijah, send down fire, bless my altar.
So it's no time on our sides today. Let's look at today's global trends. While we're concerned about the things happening in our nation, Nigeria, and our locality, let's look at what's happening in the world out there. Because some of us, we just like to think that, not only Nigeria, something there happen. It's only in Nigeria we all have issues. But trust me, the world is also combating a lot. And given the situation of war here and there is that for the global trends. So in Dutch, the Netherlands government is falling due to the resignation of far-right leader Wilders, ending the fragile coalition. And of course, Trump's tariff. If you are if you have continued to keep yourself abreast of what's happening on the global scene, you know that Trumps have been slamming every state, continent around the world with tariffs here and there, left, right, front, and center. And given the particular situation with China, where China has to withdraw all its students, students, especially in Harvard, due to some of the circumstances around foreign students and them checking your social media. You see, that's why they say that, while we all like to, put our lives out there on social media, be mindful. One of the things President Trump of United States, raised is, moving forward, if they're to grant you visas, study visas to come study in United States, any of its university at all, especially this top-notch university, they are going to vent your social media. They're going to check all of your internet appearances and your internet presence. If they see that whatever you put out there can threaten, their nation's peace and sovereignty, they will not give you that visa. And it's not just now. Even when you're seeking employment in your locality, in Nigeria, that's why we say, Nigeria is this and that. People really don't really check these things. Forget it. Some organizations will go visit your social media, your internet presence. They want to know if you're even present on the internet. And you can also help yourself do that too. Just press your name. I'm Oluwafunke Israel. Okay, let's say on social media I have Oluwafunke Obolo Israel, Oluwafunke Obi Israel. Just check your name. If you are Tayo Solari, just go on the internet, Google, just like you always press anything when you want to check some news online. Just type your name and see what it would, what will pop up. Whatever pops up, check it and see if you are an employer. You can offer somebody a job when you see something on your own. See, the internet is just like your public resume. Yeah, people don't get to ask for your resume all the time, but sometimes when people want to get to know you, they go to the internet, and internet is your resume. When they find something about you, they're going to use it against you even before you get a chance to defend yourself. And this is what of the things Trump is bringing. Trump want to adopt now. Before, they know you're students and you're young. We're young and we can be naughty. They want to know what you're doing on the internet there. If you are changing lives, transforming your world, or you're just there constituting nuisance. So they don't want you to come to their country and add to, all of the things you're doing online. So they don't want that. So that's part of, what Trump's government is doing now. And you should be mindful. Aside even seeking greener pastures, even if you stay in Nigeria here, be mindful what you put outside there, because they say internet never forgets. The more you get to put your private life, there is no issue, bringing your private life to the internet. But are you doing it to impact lives? Tell real story about yourself, to encourage people out there, because these are two different things. If you're just putting your stories out there and just making, putting things out there that does not represent you well, it will come back to you. They say internet never forgets. 20, 30 years. People will just need to, Google your name, just like you Google everything else, but you've never Googled your name. You see, you're not even representing yourself well. A number of times I go Google my name. Yeah, go on Google search. I Google my name and see what comes out. Sometimes I get to put my work out there and I see it. What are you putting out there? And what are you making people understand about you? Are they getting the wrong idea of you? Because you should be mindful. This is what Trump says he will be doing to international students moving forward. Before you're granted a visa, they will vent everything, your internet presence, whatever it is they are also seeking, that would allow you grants that, get that access. And beyond even seeking going outside the country, you should consider that you are a brand. Either you own a company or not, you are a brand. Either you work under someone, of course you represent that organization and you also represent yourself. So what are you doing about it?
I remember those days when no lighter, no ganja, no friends. I remember those days when we have to ball.
So this is what I leave you with. One of the global trends we get to see now is generative AI. We see what AI is doing. Artificial intelligence. It's helping us do our jobs better and helping us being productive in a way, because we get to learn a lot from AI tools. So make sure you're using AI in a way where it gets to promote what you do and help you, not using it the wrong way. So these are the global trends for today that I have for you. Thank you for joining us on the morning show, Vicinity 95.3 FM. And if you're still wondering what's AI, Google it. And Google your name as well today. Try and see what pops up. This is what I leave you with this morning. Do something. You are a brand. You keep pushing that brand, because someday somebody may need what you may want to access your service. And then if you're not telling us that you are the person that we can offer this job, they move to the next. A lot of people are doing what you do, so you're not that special. I'm sorry. Yeah, someone used to tell me that you're not that special. But the only way to make yourself special is to be distinct with what you do, because millions of people do exactly the same thing you do, have the same skills, even better than yours, I must say. So be out there representing yourself well. So there will just be something they would, see that they can do with you. Even if there's somebody else who can do something, do it better. But they would want to give you a chance because they think you have prospects there. So keep representing yourself well and use AI tools to your advantage. Thanks for joining us on the morning show this morning. I'm Oluwafunke Israel. Till will come your way tomorrow. I leave you in the hands of your maker. Do have yourself a good day. Executive producer, Adishola Salami. Bye for now.
But Oluwa, iwo ni mo gbẹ́kẹ̀lé o. Wetin my eye don't see. I'm on my mouth no fit talk. From ghetto to overseas. Anywhere you hear my gbedu, follow me rock. Holy Michael, Holy Gabriel. You don't prove them, say my head he did there. Holy Michael, Holy ranking. Father me, I give you special thanks. Elijah, send down fire. Bless my altar. Pour me water.
Music. Sports.
In towards Lukaku.
Entertainment, politics, all on your darling station, Vicinity 95.3 FM, Ikejule, Ijesha.
Since I've gotten older, I've realized we all care about things that don't really matter. We're just told it does, and now we're all trying to keep our heads above the water. But what if we don't wanna? If there's something you wanna do, just do it. Don't let your head stop your heart from moving. If there's someone you wanna talk to, who knows who we'd be if we just live more and love more. We all just need to live more and love more. When we're not here anymore, it all comes down to who we are and what we stood for, not what we had and not where we lived. So when we're told it does, maybe then we'll see we don't just have to keep our heads above the water. Not if we don't wanna. If there's something you wanna do, just do it. Don't let your head stop your heart from moving. If there's someone you wanna talk to, who knows who we'd be if we just live more and love more. We all just need to live more and love more. So hug your kids, tell them you love them, have some heart, but make sure it's open, take that risk, 'cause time gets stolen. Maybe speak less and listen more. 'Cause life's too short, you only have one. It might sound cliche, but your life can start when you choose it to.